TV, Nairobi.
And it's exactly 10 days to the African Nations Championship, a tournament that will be hosted by the three East African countries of Uganda, Tanzania and Kenya. It is the next big sporting event in Kenya since All Africa Games of 1987. On Chan 101 tonight, our sports editor Michael Kinye gives an explainer on what the tournament is all about.
Well, the Africa Cup of Nations is what many Kenyans know about, but not so many people know about Chan. That is the reason why we are explaining to you today what Chan is all about. So if we can start, let's look at Africa Nations Championships. Chan, that is the name of the tournament. The name of the tournament is Championnat d'Afrique des Nations, or Chan. That's why it's called Chan, because this is in French, the Africa Nations Championship. In English, that is the name of the tournament that we'll be hosting here in Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania. So if you look at the first editions in 2009, 8 teams contested the first tournament. There were only 8 of them. Second to 6th edition, we had 16 teams. Then since 2012, since 2022, I beg your pardon, 18 teams have been playing in the tournament. This time, we don't have 18 teams, but 19 teams. We look at those teams, how they're distributed in the preceding slides. And then when you look at the history of the Chan competition, it was created in 2007 during a CAF executive committee in Johannesburg, South Africa. And this is because the tournament is only for home-based players. What do we mean by this? These are players that play in their home leagues, like in Kenya, for example. Unless you're playing in the FKF Premier League, you're playing in the Division 2 National Super League, NSL, or Division 1 and Division 2, you are eligible to play in the tournament. Anybody else who's playing in a tournament in a league outside Kenya, that is Tanzania, Uganda, Zambia, or Michael Olunga, the captain of the Harambee Stars playing in Qatar, they are not eligible to play in this tournament. So that is where we are with the history of the tournament. Then we look at the aim is to give these players a chance to represent their national teams, simply because the top level players in every country, they play either in Europe or they're playing in leagues outside their country. So to give these players that play in their homegrown nations a chance to be seen and to also play for the national team, that's why this tournament was created. So the tournament also promotes home leagues. For example, people will get to know about FKFPL. When a player scores or a player shines, let's say Gor Mahia, AFC Leopards, Tusker FC, Police FC, they will be known and the league will get prominence out of that. Then, so what's the difference between Chan and AFCON? Like we say, Chan for players in the domestic leagues like FKF, PL, and National Super League. AFCON for all the other players. Olunga can play in AFCON, he cannot play in Chan. The players in camp right now playing for Chan can play in the AFCON as well. So that's the difference between these two tournaments. Then we look at the hosts. Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. How did we end up having 3 host countries? We look at that. And it is because the opening ceremony will be on the 2nd of August. 2nd of August, we'll have the opening ceremony in Tanzania. Tanzania will be playing Burkina Faso in the first game. Then the closing ceremony will be on August 30th. This one will be at Kasarani. Moi International Sports Center Kasarani, where Harambee Stars are playing all their matches, is where the closing ceremony will be. Let's hope that we'll be going to cheer Harambee Stars in that finals match. Then initial dates were 1st of February to the 28th of February. But the tournament had to be postponed. Why? Because we had infrastructure delays in all the 3 countries. Kenya were not ready with the stadia, Uganda and Tanzania as well. But now all infrastructure is ready. We are ready to play from the 2nd of August. Then we also had teams that pulled out. Algeria, Egypt, Libya, Tunisia, and Gabon. They pulled out of Chan despite having qualified. So Chan had to do qualifying tournaments again so that these slots can be filled. All of them are filled as of now. Then the tournament is a dress rehearsal for AFCON 2027. Why is it a dress rehearsal for AFCON 2027? On September 27, 2023, the Pamoja bid of Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, the East African countries, won the rights to host AFCON in 2027. So that's why Chan 2024, which is being played in 2025, is a dress rehearsal for this particular tournament, that is AFCON 2027. Then the other bids in that bidding process were by Senegal, Algeria, Morocco, and Botswana. They were just bidding as individual countries, but the East African bid of Uganda, Tanzania, and Kenya was the Pamoja bid. The cost of hosting paid to CAF, we paid $13 million as Kenya, which is 1.6 billion Kenya shillings. This is what we get when we bid to host such a tournament. We have to pay for it. So 18 teams divided into 4 groups. There are 19 teams actually. 5 in Group A in Kenya, 5 in Group B in Tanzania, 5 in Group C in Uganda, and 4 in Group D that will be played in Zanzibar. Remember, this group in Zanzibar was to be played in Kenya, the Nyayo National Stadium, but because we didn't have enough training grounds around the Nyayo National Stadium, then Zanzibar, the Aman Stadium, was given a chance to host Group D matches. So winners will receive close to $500 million Kenya shillings. That money has been increased beginning the CHAN tournament for this year. So tomorrow, we'll be looking at all these groups. That is Group A, who's playing there, Group B, Group C, and Group D, as we continue giving you one-on-one information on CHAN